Giving all praises to the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob. Giving all due respect to my father, my teacher, and the leader, Chief Eleazar Ben Dodo of the tribe of Lewi. Giving all due respect to the prince men, chief men, mothers in Israel, brothers and sisters. I bid you on the tongue of our forefathers. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
We'll go to the book of the law, Exodus chapter 23. The law is the basis, but this whole Israelite thing. The law, the commandments. All the insight and understanding and the wisdom comes from the performance of the law. Am I correct?
Mm-hmm.
That's where it comes from. Means action has to be put forth. It has to be done constantly. You can't forget. There is no excuse as forgetting. To forget is wicked. That's what David said. He said, I have not wickedly forgotten thy commandments. So to forget God's commandments is counted as wickedness.
Mm-hmm.
To believe any word that came out of God's mouth is counted as what? Righteousness. It was established when it was done with Abraham. That's why God was mad at the people. He said, how long is it going to take for these guys to believe what I say?
Mm-hmm.
I just told them, don't go out on the Shabbat day because the holy Shabbat day ain't going to be nothing out there. Mm-hmm. But a lot of them did not believe. That's why he said, what is it going to take for them to believe? They was there. They came out of Egypt. They saw all those plagues, those 10 plagues we talk about that was in Egypt, the frogs, the lice. They saw it. And none of those plagues affected them. God made a separation. They was in a city called Goshen. And in that city, where everything got hit, it didn't get hit there. The tornado could come through and hit everywhere in New York. But if God said, not this spot right here in Fort Greene, everywhere in Brooklyn, all 5 boroughs going to get hit, but just Fort Greene, not going to be touched. You're going to see Fort Greene, still the whole area of Fort Greene, and what you're going to see, destruction all around it. I've seen that. I've seen tornadoes hit down south, wipe out a whole community, and one house still stood. Everything around that little house got broken down. These are the sentences and verdicts of God. Nothing is impossible for him. That's why we don't use science when it comes to his commandments and God. Okay? What we know as gravity, right? It ain't nothing for God to say, this area, no gravity. And it ain't going to be able to be explained. See, everything started with the word of God. He said, God said, let there be light. Mm-hmm. He just said it out of one, I can't say day because days wasn't made yet. You see what I'm saying? I can't even say time. God made time for us. That's why we got the sun, the moon, the stars, night and day, seasons. We know what time of the year it is. We know what time of the day it is. I learned I could gauge what time of the day it is by looking at the sun and where it sat in the sky. Mm-hmm. You have men who are sailors that do that. Hunters, people who live in the mountains. All that was made for us. God don't go by time. You understand what I'm saying? So at a certain, God said, let there be light. And it happened. It just came into existence. God didn't have to name it. It was named as he said for it to appear. That's why he's called the creator. So it's all on his word. And if his commandments, if he's telling us to don't do certain things in your life, do certain things here in your life. You can do this with me, but not like them. Okay? It has an effect on you. Just this word alone. Exodus chapter 23. It says,
thou shalt not raise a false report.
Do not bring up, do not open your mouth to announce a report, a story, a situation on someone that is not true.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it's in your head don't mean it's true. A lot of times I thought I took my gloves and put it in my bag, but I didn't. That ever happened to y'all?
Mm-hmm.
See how simple that is?
Yep.
But I didn't. And I walked out and I got to the train station. And when I got there, I looked, I said, wait a minute. I know I put it in the bag, but I didn't. Because if I had put it in the bag, it would be there.
Yeah.
Right or wrong?
That's right.
So you cannot speak about a situation or someone unless you saw it yourself, or it was told to you from the source itself, or you was there to witness it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, you can't say anything which is concrete, validated, or the truth. That's not the truth. Because a lot of times it's in your head.
Mm-hmm.
People say, man, all these years I thought all of y'all owned the building. Nobody told you that, right? Nobody told you these things.
No.
That's what you thought in your head. That's why God put these commandments here. They say, yo, whatever you come out your mouth, whatever report that come out, to make sure it's not false. Other than that, you know what you got to say? I don't know. I got to keep my mouth shut on that one. I can't say for sure. I'm not 100% positively sure. Be truthful, because other than that, you're raising a false report on somebody. He said, put not thine hand with the wicked to be an unrighteous witness. The wicked do things like this. They raise false reports and they get with other people to say they saw and heard things, and it didn't go down like that. There was times I had to interrupt and say, wait, hold on. She didn't say that, or he didn't say that. I heard the whole conversation. But the hatred will make you put words in my mouth so you can come at me and punch your finger at me and get other people, but hatred will do that.
Right.
That's what it will do. So you don't put your hand with wicked people or be like wicked people and be an unrighteous witness, because you got people who get paid to go to court and lie. Look, don't worry. Listen, man. I'll go to court. I'll be a witness. I'll go to court. I'll go there and say this, that, and the third. But he's lying so that what? He could get some money off. They could get that cut. And he put his hands on the Bible and swear. That don't mean nothing. Whether they swear with the Bible or not, swearing in it, that don't mean nothing, because it's a false report. You're already lying. Don't make up stories. People love juicy, scandalous stories, and they like to take it and run with it.
Mm-hmm.
God don't like men to be that way, because all this is for the men. The woman didn't go town to town and travel all over talking. It's always the men. My Abba told me one time. He said the men gossip more than women. Gossip is nothing but stories and things that are not true. So you don't raise these things up. You don't bring it. You know how you raise it up? By bringing it to somebody. It said, thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil. It could be a crew of people right there, and you around them doing what they do. Or you do what the people do in the world, in the street, in the city, in the land. Right. The multitude is the people, the masses, the majority. The wicked and the evil things that they do, you can't follow and do.
Right.
That's why he tells you, you can't have this in your house. You can't do these things. Because these are the wicked and evil things that the masses do. He said, neither shalt thou speak
in the cause that
after
neither
many.
shalt thou speak in the cause to decline after many the rest judgment.
I was speaking the truth. I said exactly what happened. But now I'm the only one speaking the truth. Everybody else is lying.
Mm-hmm.
And look. It's an intimidating factor that comes with it.
Right.
I've seen people do it. They're like, no, don't say that. He about to tell the truth. And you got to stop from telling the truth. So now I stopped telling the truth because I'm going to agree with what y'all say. I declined after many to rest judgment, to change what was supposed to be going on. All that is not unrighteous also, and it's not just. He said, neither shalt thou countenance a poor man in his cause. He said, if thou meet thine enemy's ox.
I meet thine enemy's ox, or his ass going astray.
That means that sometimes you got animals that run away. You got animals that run away. Leave the window open, the cat will jump out there. So, being that we were farmers, agricultural people, we had oxen, we had donkeys, and sometimes they break off. They get through the gates, or they get away.
Right.
Now, this guy here is my enemy, and I see his ox wandering. So guess what I'm gonna do? Mind my business, because that's my enemy's stuff anyway. I don't care about his stuff. Let it go and get it. Good, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, neglect it. God said you can't do that because the enemy that he's talking about is your brother, is an Israelite brother. Because that's who we lived amongst. So he said, if you meet your enemy's ox or ass going astray, thou shalt surely bring it back to him again. You got to put that hate, that animosity that you got, and grab him up and take him back to the owner. That's your enemy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Tamshi. Tamshi.
If thou see the ass of him that hates thee lying under his burden, and wouldest forbear to help him.
Now you hear, it's a difference now. The other verse said, your enemy. He's an enemy of yours, right? Now this verse says, the ass of him that hated thee.
Lying under.
You know what that means? I ain't got no problem with this guy, but this guy hate me. We have situations like that too.
Right.
You say, yo, man, what's up, man? What's the problem? Man, I just don't like him. That's a guy that hates you. You didn't have to do nothing. So that guy that hates you for no reason, he hates you, right? You find his ox or his ass going astray. You can't neglect it either.
Right.
I said, well, look, man, that dude hate me. I ain't doing nothing. You can't do that. You can't do that. And believe it or not, these are the things that change you from becoming enemies. Because look, if me and you enemies, and you look out for something that belongs to me, or someone that's family to me, or a loved one of mine, or my property, or something, and I know, look, and we are sworn enemies, and I seen you do certain that you did some stuff over here, all right?
Right.
But yo, you did an act over here that makes me forget about it and leave that stuff alone. It's not everybody. You said it last week. We have good and bad. Most people incline towards the bad. But naturally, you have good and bad in you.
Right.
So sometimes some people are going to act bad towards you and do certain things. Talk about
hate from the tree of knowledge of good
and evil. And then now, hey, wow, man, he did this over here. He never, look. This act, this one good act, he did like 10 bad acts. But this one good act over here, I'd have been dead. Or my son would have been dead if he didn't do this. But yeah, we had problems, right?
Right.
See, this is what God is trying to show us, man.
Right.
Because he said, the guy that hates you, you don't even hate him. He hates you. You see his ox going astray? You got to put that to the side. Put your pride to the side. You ain't got to kiss up to him. You're completing God's law. Today, I would return something that belonged to the guy that hate me, and he'll be all right, good looking, thanks. You still hate me. That's not a guarantee it's going to change anything.
Right.
But guess what? I perform the commandments of the law. That point is for me. That credit goes to me. Wisdom will stay with me because of these things. I did my parts. I did my part. And when you do your part, you can't expect nothing good. Expect the good to come from God because it's his commandments. And you're going to please him, not me. You see his mind frame? Because I expect this guy to do for me. It's not so. So what we should do is do things toward God. Because what you expect coming from God from doing his commandments, you're going to get it.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to man or woman, you will get it if they're godly. You can get certain things with these commandments or with a godly person or a person that's made up their mind or a person that is studious, that's in it. And yeah, you can just say, you know what? No, this one, I can deal with certain things in the book. I can deal with this guy with these commandments because he accepts it. And I see how he got his children. I see how he doing it. I see how he got his house. Okay, I see how he moving. So certain things, no. Leave him out of it. Leave him out of it, man. Because he viewed these commandments the same way that I view it, how it's read. I said, man, by the commandments, that is wrong and wicked. And you said, yeah, that is wrong and wicked. That's right. We're on the same page. He said, is your zeal for the Lord the same as mine? Mm-hmm. He said, yeah. That's what he asked that man. Yeah. He asked the father of the Rechabites.
He said, come, let me show you.
He said, come, let me show you. He said, look, in other words, are you the same side I'm on? He said, yeah. He said, I step in my chariot. Let me show you how I get that from God. I'm about to burn some people up. I'm about to body some people, right? Look. And the enemies of God anyway. So I'm going to do these dudes dirty. That was the King Jehu that said that.
Right.
He said, thou shalt not rest.
Jehu was on time in this.
Yeah, he was. Yes, he was. God said it. Look, this guy Jehu, I'm going to send him out. His heart going to lift up and he's going to take over and destroy all you violators and the prophets of Baal. He said, thou shalt not rest the judgment. Rest means to change. To alter. Okay? The judgment of thy poor in his cause. He said, well, man, let's leave him alone, man. He poor. Man, this guy, look. I've been had one dude, and he go from dorm to dorm. Sell, looking. See who got food. See who went to commissary and got big bags. One OG say, hey, young fella. He said, your eyes are wondering where your hands can't go. That's what he said. Your eyes are wondering where your hands can't go. Watch yourself. That means I see you lurking. And I see you thinking what you come. He said, but look,
that comes.
Look, there's a consequence that comes with that in certain places. So he warned them. You can't do this. Okay? He said, no, man, but he ain't got nothing. But that don't give him the excuse to go and steal.
That's right.
That's why you said you can't change the judgment of the poor in this cause. You said, oh, well, he did this because he's poor. No.
No excuse. God
said if a man is poor, but he's contrite in spirit, that's the dude I listened to before the rich dudes. Because look, most of the rich dudes are strong on what they're talking about because they're rich. We see what the adversary told God that you gave him everything. He's rich, he got everything. He said that's because most man is like that, but he didn't realize this was Job. This was a godly man. But most men is like that. He take away all his good stuff, make his life miserable. He said he'll curse you to your face. But it was just, he was right, but about the wrong man.
Wrong man. All godly men. No
godly man is going to do that. No man that follow these commandments is going to do that.
That's right.
No man that think upon God's name you can come to like that. He's going to see you from far away. You're not gonna break him. The more he go through it, the harder he get.
He was confident in Job too.
He said, man, he gonna do it. I said, all right.
I'm gonna make it hard for this.
All right. He said, but don't touch his life.
Don't touch his life.
Don't touch his life. Trauma, man.
He lost his whole family.
Trauma.
Lost everything and his family.
You get 3 phone calls back to back. The first one, your kids got shot up.
All of them.
They was coming from school and it was a shootout and drive by and they got shot up. Dead. Okay? Oh man, okay. I'm on my way to the hospital now. He's on critical. You hang up. The phone ring. Some other calamity going on over here. Where your business is at.
Right, the business.
Okay? Now, where your pockets is at.
Your bank account just called. Your bank just called and said your funds is on zero.
Somebody scammed it. Somebody scammed and got in your account and bled it. Now everything is froze.
It was empty.
So you ain't got 150,000 no more that you've been saving up, bro. And look, that 150,000 is rich for a person.
No,
You know what I'm saying?
That's up.
That's
good
good.
to anybody's status. You up.
Then after you hang up, you get another call. Another call. You know what I'm saying?
Your houses.
Back to back to back. That would have broke any man that's not godly. That's why he was saying that to the Most High. Like, listen, you take everything from him, he's going to curse you to your face. But he didn't know what he was talking about. You have to come back. Most High said, well, look, you checked him out now. He ain't cursed me. You hit him up.
He had to come back to
make
things.
There was a second round.
So he said, all right, let me touch him.
The first round, nothing happened. He took everything. God said, oh, yeah, all right, go ahead. He did that. He ain't break.
He had to come back.
All right,
let me
because it was a bet. He got an answer. He said, all right, hold on. Ain't over yet. He said, let me hit his skin.
You hit him up.
Personally. Maybe he's a little stronger than most men. I'm gonna get him some break. I'm gonna get him sickness, disease, plague. I'm gonna put him through it. He said, all right, go ahead, but you can't kill him. He said, don't. The hedge is moved. The hedge been moved.
For him to get touched.
For him to get
That's
touched.
why he had to come
for him to get
position.
touched. For his children to get touched.
Yeah.
For everything that belonged to Job to get touched, right? The hedge was removed because that's what he complained about. He said, yo, man, I can't touch him. You got a hedge around him.
I didn't move his head until he came back.
He said, okay, look, listen. What he did was he removed the hedge from his family and everybody else. But they was under it. So now the second time he come back, he said, look, man, a hedge on him. He said, look, I'm going to remove the hedge, but don't touch his life. And trust me, big bad, they call him the devil.
You're going to listen to that. You have to listen to that. No, you have to listen.
Yo, they say he's against God, right? But if God give him a direct command,
he don't do it.
He ain't doing it. He's not going to go against it.
Real talk.
He could have touched his life.
We'll talk. Because God
gave
God
right. What was stopping him
was the word. He
said, right. Touch him. I've been smoking. I seen him. I've been noticed him. I got to go mess with somebody else.
And he's not of the seed. So that's why I got the devil mad even more.
He said, man,
he's
I
not of the
get
seed.
this guy.
Right?
And he got children. No, it's for Babylon. So he said, now look, go back. He went back. He hit him up. And he still held on. And he suffered days for a long time. God will bring you all the way to the brink of death. Right? But the sentence don't go out. It ain't happening. God could reverse that and bring you back to where, wow, man, you came back from that. It don't even look like you went through that. It don't look like you had cancer. It don't look like you had this. It don't look like God reverses. God is the one that run everything. The doctor can keep giving you medicine for this sickness and it won't work if God don't want it to work. Tell me about your science now. Tell me about it. What keeps the heart pumping? Who keeps the heart pumping? God. Your heart is a pump. What is powering it? All other pumps in this world get powered, but it's plugged in. You got reactors, you got nuclear reactors, you got electricity, you got water. What is the force or energy or whatever you want to name it that is keeping your heart pumping for all these years? You don't get a different heart.
The command of God.
That same heart pump, and it was made to pump for eternity, for immortality.
Right. It wasn't made to die.
It wasn't. But now that death and sin, now that sin from death in now, you get heart attacks. You get heart disease. You get this. You get that. This can affect you this way. Because you gotta die. Okay? But this thing was made to go on. This whole body was made to go on. This wasn't made to get blind. God did not make man imperfect. Do you understand that? This whole world is messed up because of man. Went against from the beginning and still going. I read in one book, it said, man, I flooded the world, right? Saved Noah. What he said? Replenished and filled up the earth again with human beings. Okay? That first world is gone. From Adam to Noah, everybody gone. Flooded out. That's called resets. He said, okay, we're going to do this again now. He said, wow. It's the evil seed. It's still in man. It's in him. It's in him. He's going to always go against now. So he said, okay, the whole world is against now. Until one day you look, you see Abraham, a man named Abram. His name was Abram, and he was born in Babylon. Babylon is the country. Okay? This is one prophet of God called the country Babylon, that ancient country. He calls it the mother of all sins, whoredom, iniquity, and abominations. The reason why it has that title, people say a lot of stuff originated in Egypt. It did not. Babylon, of the Chaldees, Kasdim. They called it, people, scholars call it Sumer. Sumer. It's really, you're the Sumer, Sumer. Yeah. It's really Sumer, right? And when you take it back to the ancient Aramaic tongue, it's Sumer. And they took the off. They left the Sum. And in the book, that's the That's the same okay, of the Chaldees. Kasdim, of the Chaldees. City of the Chaldees, capital city, like Washington, D.C. is the capital of the government, right? Albany is the capital of New York City. That was the capital of Babel, where all nations was at before the scattering. Think about it. That area is where all humans was at. Whatever color they was. Until God scattered them. They all got scattered with the thought to live a life against God. When everybody spread and when Yahweh went this way and this type of thing, they all went with their own minds. Some said, I'm God. Some said, he's God. Some said the sun is God. Some said the moon is God. And everybody spread across the world with that mindset. So God said, okay, I know what I'm going to do. Abraham's children, I promised them heritage, boom, boom, boom. And he gave it to them. He gave the children of Israel the commandments. All the stuff that happened with the children of Israel is because of what God said to Abraham. The promise that he made with him. He said, I'm going to do the same thing to you too with your children. But the children were corrupt. They lived in Egypt for over 400 years. Man is corrupt already. And then for this seed to go in Egypt. So when they came out, it was a struggle for them to stay faithful to God and his commandments. So God came to the conclusion, he said, look, man, wickedness is sown in the eyes of man. I'm not going to destroy it again, another flood. We ain't going to do that. Play out. Have your generations. Have your generations. Because there's a number that come to it. There's only a number of generations that's going to be born and die on this planet. We don't know the number. God knows this number. And there will be a time where ain't nobody going to be born no more. Nobody's getting pregnant no more. You know why? There will be nobody on the planet to have babies. It's going to stop. There is a number to that. God said, let the earth rock on, because me killing everybody up and setting them up straight, I don't got a holy seed, taught them, they turned like everybody else. You know what? Go ahead, rock on. I'm going to catch y'all at the end. And I got a godly servant over here in this era, in this generation. And 200 years later, I got to go, and they keep going. Now, come to the point, ain't no more godly men coming out, because everybody's so wicked, their seed cannot come out inclined to God now. Nobody's coming out special towards God now. And he's not going to break. Then there's that level come out. Now the judgment come, and everybody get white. That's what's going on. That's why, oh man, stuff happening, nothing happened. God said, let it run, let it play out. Let it play out until the day comes. So these laws and these commandments was given not to man. Okay, I'm not going to say man. It was given to the children of Israel, who are the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, who were God's servants. There were a family of men that were God's servants. A father, his son, and his son's son. They all served God the same way, same commandments, same mannerism. Nothing was different. What Abraham did, Isaac did. What Isaac did, Yaakov did. So because of that, God said, you know what? I'm going to establish a nation to come out of Yaakov. That's why he had so many sons. And all those sons had mad sons. And in time, you had a nation you couldn't count. But they were slaves in Egypt. And God said, I'm going to bring them out with a mighty hand. You know what that means? Everybody going to talk about this. Everybody going to hear about it. And I'm not going to bring them out regular. I'm not going to come and just, I'm coming to, you're in jail and I'm coming to bail you out. Right? I come, give up the money. Nah, I don't come like that. I come with a big truck and ram and barricade through the wall and get you out and bash it in a stately fashion. What God is saying is, by getting y'all guys out of Egypt, I'm making a statement. This is going to be concrete, and it's going to be establishing you to do these commandments.
That's why they had to go to the wilderness. I heard. Niggas was like, oh.
He said, look, because if you go through there, you're going to get scared and flee. You're not ready.
Nations like, no, y'all not coming.
Yeah, you're not ready. You're going to run into them. That's what he said. So I'm going to come around. Look. Like, and no, it's twofold. I don't want you to see these people because you're going to get scared and run. You're not, I know you ain't that tough yet. And I got to test you. So I'm going to bring you through the hazardous parts where people don't dwell. That's why they were brought around areas where it was desert, nothing growing. The test that he was talking about, that was the test, to see if they was going to be patient and wait on God to fix the situation. Go to Moses and ask Moses to entreat of the Lord with them. But instead of that, they turned into a lynch mob. Yeah. And spoke against God. And spoke against the ones who represented God. Spoke against the ones who taught the people and interpreted the law to them. You know what? When he said teach, all you're doing is interpreting. We call it breaking down. Okay? Because they didn't know the law. Every day, look, they had a line lining up to ask Moses so they could understand the commandments. But it was only him. And he was on taking care of cases, answering questions, all of this. And it was too much for that one man. That's why his father-in-law said, you make officers of the most honest and truthful, able men that don't have no covetousness, men that will not get jealous of other men. That's what it means. Hating covetousness. If you're a man, if you get jealous of other men, you can't be an officer. How about that? Speaking of officers, if I'm a chief man and I have sons,
All of them are chiefs.
my sons are automatically chiefs. Nobody has to acknowledge. They don't have to go nowhere to get validated. It's an automatic thing. That order doesn't change. There were men that were given titles as officers by men who are renowned in Israel. By men, look. Certain men, like my father. Whoever he says a chief is a chief. Whoever he says a prince is a prince. He got that. He's the chief Levite. He makes and breaks officers. I know this brother over here, he's a prince. So his son is a prince. I'm not going to look and go, yeah, Shalom Chief such and such. And when it comes to his son, oh man, he ain't no chief.
And you's a layman.
And I ain't even got a title.
And you's a layman.
And I'm a new jack. And I'm a Johnny come lately.
Come on, man.
Now let me tell you something. All right? Job, he said he not with flattering titles. You know what that means? Because you have dudes, and when you give them a title, this happens. His head get high, you get. That's why the requirements is men of truth, hating covetousness. Because that stuff is going to keep that chest down and keep his pride down. Not everybody can be an officer. Not everybody is a leader. Not everybody is a teacher. Well, he said, how you going to have all Indians, no chiefs, and all chiefs, no Indians? I heard that in Benai. Everybody ain't going to make it to certain levels.
Not everybody can run a household.
Not everybody can run a household. He said, because I know Abraham going to command his household after him. After him. That means whatever he say in that house, go. It will not be questioned. I'm not going to change what Abraham set in the house. Like if I say in my house, I don't want this done no more. I don't want, this is banned. Okay? Whether I'm around or not, this is still banned. You understand what I'm saying? That means he command his household after him. That means every individual in that household upholds the commandment, the commandments of God, because that's what that man is living by in his house. He governed his house by these commandments, and I got commandments too. It's my house. Look, I don't want nobody walking in here with their shoes on. Everybody stay out. That's it. That's my commandment. That's mine. If I say don't spit in the garbage, I don't like when people spit in the garbage. Nobody could do that.
They don't stop when you pass.
No. It stays. No, it's reinforced when the Father passed. A lot of rules are reinforced so that we can stay in following in his footsteps. The whole house was still following his footsteps. You understand what I'm saying? That's why God told these men, follow in the footsteps of David. Follow in the footsteps of David, your father. Feel the energy. He hyped. You see, I'm hyped. She hyped. She gonna come over here. She got something. That's right. Yeah, you can't do that. We gotta uphold that because most of the time, the man, and check this out, most of the time, and this is from back then, the man dies before the woman and his sons and daughters. Most of the time, he dies before them. That's why he sets a will up. He sets this up. Certain things get set up because it's just a natural thing. You know why?
You think about it, the only three I see that didn't happen to you.
Abraham, Isaac.
Jacob. Right? They women like who's here about
Let me see, Abraham. Yeah, Abraham.
He went
Sarah
and got the
died.
Torah.
Sarah died.
Yeah, go get the
Right?
Torah.
Let me see, Isaac, Rebecca.
Isaac. I don't know about Isaac and Rebecca.
Yeah, I gotta check that out.
I'll check that out. Jacob, we seen Raquel there.
Raquel died.
We don't know.
That was the
we don't know
one.
about Leah.
That was the one.
Leah went into Egypt with
Leah
him.
got buried.
She went to
She
Egypt
got
with him.
yeah.
So we don't know who went first.
But Leah's in that cave, though.
Leah in the cave.
Leah's in the cave. There's only 6 of them in the cave.
Right.
Right or wrong?
That's right.
Abraham, Sarah, Isaac, Rebecca, Jacob, Leah. So Raquel got buried on the oath on the way back. There was only 6 bodies in there. That's the family, y'all. Those are the patriarchs. Those are the ones that's in the cave of Machpelah.
Men like Laban?
Laban said, now I
His
know.
sister is in the cave of my
Look.
That's his
Laban
sister.
said, now I know that the Lord God, he is
He's
God.
And his sister is in the cave of my
And sisters in the cave of Machpelah. All right?
Come on.
He was like this with Moses. Like, come on, man.
The pit was made for us. Niggas, America, Greek, Rome. When them niggas took over.
Jethro. It was Jethro that said that. Moses' father-in-law. It wasn't him. It was Jethro that said, now I know that the Lord God, he is God.
He came and seen and noticed what Moses.
When Moses told him everything, he said, because look, he wasn't no dummy. These guys were priests in their paganism, in their religion, in their thing. These guys were higher ups. You know, our king didn't mess with, you know, we contemporary with other kings. In other words, man, I don't mix up with layman's too much. You understand what I'm saying? If you come around and you're not ready to listen and learn, you got nothing to talk about.
Right.
You got nothing to talk about, man. So see the titles, Israelites got to get those titles and everything straight. Because see now, if you have a title, you have to have the trait that you hate covetousness, men of truth. Okay? You got to have those qualities. And men today that's being made officers don't have those qualities. No. Forget that. They get jealous of other men. That's been going on since Ben Isaac. I saw it and witnessed it with my own eyes. Nobody can tell me. I know the whole history of Israel. Me. I know the whole history. I was there. So the title stuff, the stuff with the titles, man, calm that down. Respect men and their office.
Layman.
Because you ain't going to go up to, what's the president? What's his name? Biden. You ain't going to go up to Biden and say, man, you ain't no president. You ain't going to do that. When you go to his house, you can say, hey, how you doing, Mr. President? You will address him as his title. You ain't going to call him, hey, what up, Biden? You ain't going to talk to him like that. Joe. You ain't going to talk to him like that. Because you still got slave mentality in you. You're not going to talk to him like that. Because he ain't by himself. You going to give it up. You ain't going to go to the king and just, you can't go to these higher ups and just act like, no, man. So when the higher ups validate someone, okay, that's it. Ain't no turning back. No turning back. He's still validated.
Unless the higher up word ain't good. And
And then there's a problem now.
say something.
Well,
Say
there'll be a problem.
Then it's a problem.
There's a problem.
That's a fact. That's a big
Come on,
fact.
man.
Verse 7.
Jump shoot.
Keep thee far from a false matter.
Stay away from lies, deceit, false stories, things that you don't know to be true. That's why certain matters you say investigate it. Other than that, leave that alone. Don't give ear to it. A lot of things you don't give ear to, meaning you don't give attention to. It's all lies. It's a story. When you dig down, you find out, man, this one said that said it, this one did it. And I can't get to the source because it's a false matter. You know what else is a false matter? Scams, frauds. You know what fraudulent charges is, right?
Right.
Making up paperwork, taking names, doing this, checks, money orders, credit cards, debits, All these things is also a false matter.
So when you get no
The
one
people-
Sariah to claim.
People gain monetary
You claim no one
value.
Sariah.
I claim kids that are not mine. I put down on my tax return your kids. I'm only supposed to put mine down, but I put mine and yours so I can get more money. I lied, and that's fraudulency. You understand that? And then I give you a cut of it. Look, and sometimes you don't even get the cut. I've seen people give up their children's information, and the people use that information and get the money. Don't give them nothing. It says don't honor among thieves. I'm already a thief. You a thief. We sat down, right? I do my part. He ain't gonna do his part. Or he gonna do his part. I'm not gonna do my part. There's no honor among thieves. Thieves lie and steal and do these deceitful things. And what make you think two thieves gonna be real with each other?
That's the truth right there.
That's not gonna happen. They're gonna turn on each other. Wolves, pack of wolves. You watch wolves and they ain't got nobody to bite. They start biting each other, turning on each other. So keep far away from false matter. Don't believe everything someone tells you. That's how you keep yourself from a false matter. Because God will know if you really believe that or not. And it goes if you like or dislike the person. If you like the person, you hear something bad about them, whether it be true or not, automatically you're going to say, nah, man, that ain't true. Not knowing if it's true or not.
Right.
See, all these things we got to stay away from, man. That's why you don't go around speaking things that's not true. And that's why I don't get involved in things that's not, matters that is not true. He said, and the innocent and the righteous, don't slay them, man. Don't kill the innocent and the righteous, because that's how y'all get down. Y'all take the innocent and the righteous guy and boil him and bake him. And the evil guy, hey, what up, man? Yeah, he get pat on the back. That's how this world is. That's why God put this here for Israel, not to be like the world. This is the mindset Chief Shama always talking about. What come out your mouth must be the truth. It must be facts. And you don't want to hear nothing unless you know it to be facts.
But I will not justify the wicked. And thou shalt take no gift, for the gift blinded the wise and perverted the words of the righteous.
A gift? Hey, man, here's a gift, man, but it's really a bribe. Because that gift will make you change your judgment. Mm-hmm. Your gift will make a person change their decision. Mm-hmm. They say, oh, well, wow, he did that. Well, wow, he ain't all that bad. Mm-hmm. Now we're not going to make him pay for what he did because he's not all that bad. Mm-hmm. You know why? Because he gave me a gift last week.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere. When you get a gift out of nowhere.
Right.
It comes and says, hey, man, look, I got something here for you. So, you know what God is saying? Watch when people just want to just jump up and do favors and be so kind for you. And they don't live these commandments. You got to watch these things to see if it's genuine or not. Because it's a hook. A hook. A gift comes with a hook. God teaches us how not to get bamboozled and hustled and listening to people who are not true in their heart. He said, yo, don't take no gift, because the gift gonna blind the wise. The wisest ones. You know who's wise? People who have wisdom within them. If they have wisdom within them, that means they depart from evil. They don't have deceitfulness in them. So now, that will blind the wise, the gift. And make them say, nah, man, you gotta say, not him. You know, I know he's supposed to pay back a certain amount, but remember what he did over here. Not when it comes to God's law. It's good to think that it's good to return a good favor back. Like, oh man, this guy did me good. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm supposed to show good back, right or wrong. Right. I'm supposed to return kindness, right or wrong, right, because of the good. That's how it's supposed to be. But when he go against the commandments, when the commandments are violated, I gotta put that to the side. I gotta put that to the side and go along. I can't, because it's my friend or because he's close to me. This guy brought me a gift. He does favors for me. He said to pervert the words of the righteous. They make the righteous change their decision. It changed the righteousness that was going to come out their mouth. Now, this guy get away with what he was doing. Time sheet.
Also, thou shalt not oppress a stranger. For you know the heart of a stranger, seeing you were strangers in the land of Egypt.
Why do we do stuff to people knowing you don't like it? Knowing you was in that same position. And when you was in that position, you ain't like it. And you ain't having it. If it was me, but why are you doing it? Why are you the aggressor? Why are you the one that's the aggressor is the one that's oppressing? Why? He said, for ye know the heart of a stranger. You know how it feels. If you know how it feels, you should be considerate about how he feels, because it's the same thing. That's all God's saying. He said, say. He said, in 6 years, thou shalt sow thy land, and shalt gather in the fruits thereof. 6 years. You reap, you sow, you plant, you pluck up, you plant, you pluck up for 6 years. The 7th year, thou shalt let it rest and lie still. In the 7th year, you don't pick up nothing.
Right.
You don't bring up nothing. There's no ingathering. That's the name of it. Ingathering means when I go out and get my crops, they're ready now. You see, you leave that out there. It makes the dirt, the soil, that whole area where you're farming at, it keeps it strong and healthy. All of God's commandments is life, longevity. Time sheet.
That the poor of the people may eat, and what they leave, the beasts of the field shall eat. In like manner shall I deal with thy vineyard, and with thy olive yard.
You do that with your vineyard, your olive yard, all your farmland. He said that within that year, the 7th year, while it's sitting there, he said, the beasts of the field get to eat. So they ain't got to be up in your backyard eating, trying to eat a bear in the garbage. That's why raccoons jump up in people's windows. They got all the farms and all the food, and this is all money. This stuff is getting sold. I ain't got time to be feeding nobody with this. So all of these commandments go out the window. There's no farms that's going to feed the poor and the beasts of the field. There's no vineyards and olive yard. All of that is covered by companies that make wine, make olive oil, that make all of them are owned by companies. We don't own these things no more. This is how they survive. The poor got to eat every day.
That's right.
And that night, and everybody leave, the beasts of the field could come. Yo, one time up north, we doing lumberjacks, cutting trees down. They said, yo, don't cut them apple trees down. You cut those apple trees down, that's another charge. You will be going to court for this. He said, those apples is for my deers. Yeah, that's what he said, my deers. These are my deers. And that's the wild, it ain't like he got a farm of deers. But he said, all the animals up here, these are mine, that's their land. They don't touch the apple trees. They don't cut them. And that's God's law. You don't go around cutting the trees that's good for food. Look at that. But nobody's doing this. Nobody's doing none of this. Just 6 days shall I do thy work, and the 7th day thou shalt rest. Thine ox and thine ass may rest. The cat may rest. Your dog may rest. Your animals, because we put them to work, right or wrong. Animals, pets, animals, they all have a service. They all keep something away that bothersome to us. And that's their job. He said, on that day, they get to rest. He said, like manner.
And the son of thy handmaid.
And the son of thy handmaid. Meaning your maid's son. Even him. He ain't gotta do nothing. I'm not sending him to the store. I always send my maid. I got a maid, and she has a son. Because see, my servants, I take care of them. Back then, the servants, they don't come and work and they go home and have their own family. The whole family lives there.
Mm-hmm.
If he got if my servant, man, he has a wife, it's because he either came in with her or I gave him a wife.
Okay.
Either way, they living under my jurisdiction and they're under my protection, okay? And I take care of them and feed them. Now, when I die, they take care of my sons and my daughters. They call my sons master, like they did me. Look. Right now, if I'm your butler, right? I'm the Master Shabbat, Master Noah. I don't go call him Noah. I don't call him Noah. He's master because that's my master's son. So in line, if a man is a chief, man is a prince, or whatever, his sons is automatically that.
That's right.
His son don't have to get validated really by nobody.
That's right.
It's the same thing.
Well,
Look at that. Look at Alfred.
Jeffrey was calling what? Master Will.
Master
He
Will.
wasn't a part of the family. He was a nephew.
He was a cousin, a nephew
Cousin, right.
from another house, and he called him Master Will. Alfred, Batman's butler, he called him Master Wayne. And his real master was the father. He's the son. The father and the mother died. It's my master now. Now look, I have the butler or the maid die and have children. They are the servants now. That's the look. It wasn't no poor people, man. Look, when he said the poor of the land, we had very few poor people in the land of Israel. Very few. All right? It wasn't like shelters, and you go to the train station and bring the homeless people. Where you gonna put all these homeless people? It wasn't like that out there. Just because you see the word poor, don't mean they didn't have nowhere to live. It was certain individuals, they didn't have it like that. And that's what this was for, Tamshi.
And the stranger may be refreshed. And in all things that I have said unto you, be circumspect, and make no mention of the name of other gods.
He said, in everything that I've said to you, be careful with yourself. Be aware. That's what circumspect means. Be aware of your doings. Be aware of what you do. Okay? He said, in all things that I said unto you, be circumspect. Meaning, up to this point, all the laws that I gave you, be careful with them. That's what that means. All the things that I said to you, be careful now. Look, and on top of that, make no mention of the name of other gods. You can't even look. Yeah, it's not real. But you still, whatever name that the people call it, you can't mention that name. That's why we give it other names like Momo, Jake. We don't say the name. We don't say the deities' names because we give acknowledgement to its existence. If we say its name, you understand what I'm saying? God said, don't make mention of those deities. Let it not be heard out of your mouth. Yeah, but I was talking against it. So what? You still cannot mention the name of these fake pagan gods. Tamshi?
Neither let it be heard out of thy mouth.
Uh-huh.
3 times.
So no, God is real. He tell us what we can say, man. That's how real it is with these commandments. He tell us what we can say, what we can't say.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I don't want to ever hear you mention this out your mouth. Tamshi.
3 times thou shalt keep a feast unto me in the year.
Okay. So when you gather to have celebration, right? You can't celebrate on your own. Do your own celebration. You got to come to Jerusalem where God's name is continually praised and sacrifices are continually done towards him. He said, the place where I choose to place my name. He said, now I'm going to give you some party times, feast times, okay? He said, three feasts come up in 1 year. There are 3 different feasts that come up once every year. He said, the feast of unleavened bread. He said, thou shalt eat unleavened bread 7 days, as I commanded thee, in the time appointed of the month Abib. For in it thou camest out of Egypt, and none shall appear before me empty. He said, the piece of unleavened bread. The piece of unleavened bread is for 7 days, we eat bread without leavening, without yeast, without baking powder, without any leavening agents. Okay? Right?
Mhm.
Now, back then, they didn't have leavening agents. They didn't have yeast. You can't go nowhere and buy yeast. Just yeast. Nobody did that. It wasn't going on like that. You made your own bread, number one. All right? You made your own bread. You didn't go, there was no place to go and buy bread. There was no supermarket, no grocery store. All right? No Cash App. None of these things existed.
Mhm.
So now I make my bread, right? Put my flour and my water together. That's it. This is how they made regular bread. And they take it, put it together, and do what? What you do with it?
Need
You say it again, little man.
it. Need it.
Need it. The young child knows you need it, right? Now, when you need it, you leaven the bread. You don't need yeast. You don't need to add anything. When you do that, you working and you beating that dough like a pizza man, flipping that dough. You beat it. You know why? Because the more he flip it, the more he beat it, it gets what? Softer. That's how you leaven the bread. It said they're kneading troughs. Okay? The board that they use, it look like an iron board. See what an iron board look like? It's a board that they have, and they set it up, and they take their dough that they made, put it on there, and they knead. Now, kneading goes on, look, they knead that bread for a while. Working is work. I know. Because I know how to make bread from scratch. Used to make bread every day for my father. And that's how he wanted bread. And I noticed that the more I kneaded and beat the bread, the more lighter it got. So once it get light, any process to get that bread light, that's the leavening. When they take the dough today, industrial machines, they take the flour and water, put it in a machine. And that machine got a big mixer. And that thing, after a while, it turned to dough. And you know what? For hours, that mixer is just moving and beating that dough. It's getting folded and wrapped. It's kneading the dough. So on the Feast of Unleavened Bread, once you put that dough together, that's it. Don't go into kneading. That's how you leaven the bread. Now, if I take the dough and let it sit, it gets sour, right? They call it sourdough bread, right? That's not kneading. That's not leavening. But the process for it to get sour, anything sour is leavening. You want to read that in the book? It's not in the book. It's not in the book. It's not in the book.
Mhm.
So that same apple that I bite into, right? I bit the apple and I left it there. After a while, it started to get dark, right? Don't y'all know that's a souring? That's a fermentation. But God is not talking about that. That is a natural process, man. That's a natural process. I didn't need that apple. I didn't put nothing in that apple to do that. It just got exposed to air. That's it. It got exposed to air. Everything that gets exposed to air gets hard and moldy after a long period of time. Even pages in the book. Am I correct?
Right.
That's a natural process. God ain't talking about that. He's talking about when you're making your bread. The only way that they leavened bread back here was when they kneaded the dough. It wasn't sourdough. Okay? He said their kneading troughs were bound up in their stuff. They did not have time to, while they're moving out. It's nighttime, midnight, can hardly see. Millions of people moving out. Nobody has time to stop the whole caravan. You know how long they're gonna stay there kneading bread? Kneading dough to make bread? That's why this is the commemoration, because it wasn't leavened. The only way the dough was leavened if they kneaded it. So the Feast of Unleavened Bread, thou shalt eat unleavened bread 7 days. For 7 days, this is what you feast on, as I commanded thee in the time appointed of the month Abib. Abib is the Hebrew month where we start counting our months. That's it.
First month.
It's the first month. He said, this month shall be the beginning of months unto you. You know what that means? When you start counting months, you start from Abib. Nothing more, nothing less. No new year, no celebration, no commemoration, no nothing. Let's stop adding on to these commandments. We don't have a new year. The children of Israel do not observe New Year's Day. The original New Year's Day was on October 31st in Babylon. And if you read in the book of Daniel, that's what they was observing. It was a big feast. This is why he said, go and get out all the utensils and the cups, all the God's cups, the stuff that they took out of the temple and had stored up. He said, open that store and get all the God's stuff, and had his woman and his nobleman's woman and concubines, and they all drinking out of holy utensils. The only ones that was able to drink out of that was the priests of God. And they was in there, and it said, and they praised all the gods of wood, silver, stone. You know what that is? A toast. We don't do toasts. Oh yeah, you're gonna find out as we go along. There is a lot of things that we are not supposed to do if we want to serve God. The world does everything wicked.
Everything is against God.
It seems like it's good.
It's not.
It seems like it's normal
But it's not.
because everybody's doing it.
That's right.
But it's not. And you have to get this through your head. You have to fight that evil spirit. The evil spirit, it doesn't come hard on you. It comes in the form of stuff that you like.
That's right.
Sedation.
And that's the deceit in it. It appeases you. And you are wicked. I am wicked. It appeases the wicked. It makes me feel content. And that keeps you out of the way of God. That's how you get cut off. He said he's going to be cut off from among his people. There are certain people, we say, when he died, he shall be cut off from among his people. You know what that means. He's not going where his people at, the lot of the righteous. He's not going to go where the right ones at. And in another part of that, he said, I'm going to cut him off. He's still alive. But God said, I'll cut him off. You know what that means? Look. In time, you're not going to be here. You're not going to do this. You're going to be somewhere else, but you ain't going to be doing this.
Right.
You're not going to force yourself to get up. You're not going to force yourself to get up and commit yourself to something you're not getting paid for.
Something that nobody's doing. You have no company.
Something that no one is doing.
You have no company.
Something that people won't talk down on.
Down on.
Something that people want to abolish.
It looks nasty.
Okay?
Yeah, no company. It's a lonely
Okay.
road.
Just
It's
think
a
about
lonely
that.
road.
Guys, look, and you got to overcome all of that to be holy with God.
Fact.
They did it. And look,
Fact.
they went through stuff you ain't never gonna go through.
Fact.
They went through stuff to prove themselves to God. And look, that you ain't never gonna go through. You're not that close.
Right.
But when you get close, you gonna get tested. When you say stuff out your mouth, look, you don't even have to get close. You start saying stuff out your mouth, fly stuff with God. Oh yeah, you're like, oh word, we talking strong. All right, let's see. Let's see.
You do it. Yeah.
I'm gonna turn it up.
I made a way for you. Do it.
I'm gonna turn it up.
Yeah, I made a way for you.
Now I'm gonna see what you're gonna do.
Let me see you do it. Okay.
I want to see what people say. What people say. I want that same energy.
That same energy.
I want the same way you was
The
feeling
same
that day.
energy, yeah.
I want that same
Right
dude
now.
today. Don't switch up on
That's
us.
real. Real.
He said, where was your mouth at? He said, where's your mouth at now? No, just because he's here.
Same energy.
You was talking a lot, but now that he's here, I don't hear you. He called him out. He said, where's your mouth at now? That's people today. Just talk. We talk so much. We say things that's not in the book.
Don't come down here.
We say things
Yeah,
that's
here.
not in the book.
Come outside.
We say
Yeah.
things that's not in
Talk
the
about.
book.
Don't come down here.
We add it on.
Listen. Mind them Stokes.
We add on things that's not. You feel me? We add on. God said, "He shall not add to my word nor diminish or away from it." But nobody want to do what it say.
Facts.
That's Meshuggah.
Facts.
That's the Meshuggah. That's the going crazy.
Facts.
That's bugging out. That God talking about in Deuteronomy 28. Not you gonna be like that. Nah, you're gonna be walking around, you're gonna be, yeah, you got one is two, yeah. But when it comes to everything that will make you lean towards God, it's fuzzy for you. Put it like that. The frequency ain't getting through all the way. Don't she? Oh, well, hold on. The Feast of Unleavened Bread.
That's why I eat 11
Right?
days, 7 days.
We do not celebrate New Year's Day. There's no commandment in here where God say the Feast of New Year's Day. All his days are feast days, except today. We call it a feast day, but we don't commemorate and celebrate like it's a feast on this day. That's the difference. Okay? He said, these are the feasts of the Lord. These are my feasts. He said, but he said, the Shabbat. He said, and then he said, well, look, the Shabbat, straighten it out right now. 6 days shall work be done. But on the 7th day, you can't arrange nothing, set up nothing, provide. Know what provide? You said provide, right?
That's right.
You can't provide. You know what provide mean? Go around taking care of people. How you take care of people? Giving them money. Donate money to poor people. Food, clothing. You can't look out for people on God's day today. You can't be what they say, a good Samaritan or this or whatever you wanted. That's your personal stuff. You can't do it today.
One day, nigga want to go visit the nigga in the hospital.
You can't visit them
Nigga
today.
come all week. All Shabbat, nigga come. Look at this nigga. You don't want to
Went
sit
to
in
Shabbat to do something you was
You
supposed
don't want to
do
sit
all
in
week.
teachings. That's why you're here.
An excuse not to sit here. An excuse not to learn how to correct your spirit. So when you die, you'll be correct before God. Tell me you know what's gonna happen to you when you die. Tell me. You know you're gonna die. Everybody's going. David said, I go the way of all men. Only 3 men did not go into the ground. 3. It was only meant for 2. One crashed the party. And God closed the door. You know what that means? No man is going to be able to reach that height, at least half the height that Ezra reached, because the door is closed. Other than that, men going to still be able to come up.
He's pulling up. He'll pull up.
So it's get to the point where no one is capable of doing that. Look at that. So everybody else got to go down there. You got to go down there. Do you know what's going to happen when you go down there? No. But God's telling us what's happening. We don't believe it. One man said, don't condemn me to the lower parts of the earth. He said, don't condemn me to the lower parts of the earth. That ain't the grave. That ain't the grave. That ain't the grave. The grave is only 6 feet. The lower parts, you know how deep this earth go?
That's right.
You know how deep this earth go? That's the lower parts, way down there. It's where spirits go. The lower parts is where dead spirits go. Nobody in the physical go there. Okay? According to this book, that's what the man said. When I die, don't let my spirit go to the lower parts. You didn't, okay? You can call it hell. You can call it whatever you want. You can signify. He said the lower parts. That means there's a part down beyond the grave. Because see, the body got buried days after it died.
Yeah.
So the spirit went somewhere.
The minute.
Tell me where the spirit go. Okay, now. Okay, now. It's the stubbornness and the evilness in man. One man said, what? Y'all go to hell. He said, I'll go. I heard one woman say, I know where I'm going. A girl told me, she said, I know where I'm going. And I'm going to be locked up with him forever, burning. She knows. It's not like people don't know, Abraham.
They think it's a
They
game.
know.
They think it's a game, though. I don't think they know this.
Now they know. She said, I'm going to burn forever. She said, I'm going to get tortured and burn forever. She knows. And she's okay with it. Do you understand that? So you can't fathom how a person could be okay with it.
Cut off.
Because you're not cut off.
Cut off.
That's why. When a person is cut off, they're going to be okay with it. They're okay with this. Because, hey, look, I do this and do that anyway. Their spirit is accustomed. So, look, when they come, they come. That's what happened to happen. These are people who, their destiny is it's not going to be no struggle. It's not going to be nothing. They are destined to go. You can see it now.
Cut off.
It ain't just man, woman too. Woman too. Ain't just a man and woman. Tough shit.
In the Feast of
The
Harvest.
Feast of Harvest.
The
That's Feast of Weeks. That come after the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Okay? That's a harvest. That's when it's in gathering. Okay? And when?
The first fruits
Uh-huh.
of thy labor,
Mm-hmm.
which thou hast sown in thy field,
Right.
and the Feast of Ingathering,
Mhm.
which is in the end of the year.
Oh, wait a minute. Which is in the end of the year.
Right.
The Feast of Unleavened Bread
It's the first one.
It's in the beginning.
is in the time appointed of the month Abib, at the beginning.
Beginning of the months.
Okay?
Beginning of the months.
So when Feast of Tabernacles come, Feast of Tabernacles come up around when? Around what the month that we call around September time. Right? Okay. God called that time the end of the year. Read and understand. He called that the end of the year. So all that Rosh Hashanah, New Year, hey, Happy New Year. I know it's y'all. No, it's not, man. No, it's not.
These days are at the end. Your Feast of Booths, Yom Teruah, all that's
at the end.
It's at the end.
New Year's is at the beginning. So it ain't Abib. It ain't there. There is none. It's as God is good. God is letting you know that don't exist.
At
The
the beginning of the months.
the beginning of months. You just start counting. This is where you start counting. That's
Beginning of the
all.
months.
First month.
Look, man, Ishmael got circumcised when he was 13. And the whole world has rituals and paganism that goes down when a person is 13. And they got that from that.
Don't forget the botanist.
And now they got the female version.
Botanist. It's crazy.
Now you got the female version. You got,
That's the Momo. That's all that is. Sacrificing your kids to Momo.
that's what you're doing.
That's what you're doing.
It's a ritual.
It's a ritual.
All ceremonies, all gatherings, and anything and any mannerism that is done is a ritual.
He said you
Yes,
sing
sir.
it. He said you sing it. When you sing it 3 times, and you blow the candle. It's a ritual.
It's a ritual.
And when you blow the candle, the ritual was done.
It's a ritual.
I got a video of that.
It's a
I'll send
ritual.
it to you, Sean.
And people took the things of God
You
and
sing it.
made it and made it into a ritual, man.
Birthdays, period. Birthdays, period. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I have birthdays. Period.
So those are the only
Yes,
days.
yes.
Look, that's the only days. The Shabbat, Feast of Unleavened Bread, Feast of Ingathering, Feast of Booths.
God made
Right?
us praise him.
And then he said the new moons, right? What else? What other days? I want to hear about. Oh, look. Well, tell me about Hanukkah, Israelite, because you said the Apocrypha ain't no good. You see what I'm saying? They say the Apocrypha, our Israelites don't go by the Apocrypha, but Hanukkah is in the Apocrypha. It's not in the Old Testament. So I need you to make up your mind. Then I will be able to explain to you what Hanukkah really is about. Has nothing to do with gifts. We don't go around for no day. There is no day commemorated for us to give gifts.
Give portions on Purim.
Portions is food.
Food.
A plate.
So on Purim,
No.
I'm cooking big.
Did Dino get a plate? Dino, come on, get your
And I'm
plate.
turning
That's what they did.
And I'm
Shalom Aleichem.
Purim come up before Pesach. It's coming.
What is wrong?
Like next month. Purim is in March.
March, yeah.
Right? You can turn up on Purim.